Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So it was just reported that the Atlanta Hawks are interested in shopping John Collins before the NBA trade deadline. Nothing about this is really too surprising because John Collins is interested in getting a max contract. Now, whether he believes he's worth that or if the Hawks think he's worth that is two different things. We do know, in the past few seasons of him on the team, he's never really had like serious issues with Trae Young, but you could see at times there could be like some ruffled feathers out there or whatever. Man, it's a joke because they're the Atlanta Hawks. Ruffled feathers. You guys are welcome for that joke, man. You can use it. Just credit me for it, man. Or just never speak of it again. Regardless, John Collins, I think, is probably going to be getting traded before the trade deadline, guys. So for today's video, we are going to figure out what type of trade could be offered up, what could really help out the Atlanta Hawks, what teams could really utilize the services of John Collins and all that good stuff, man. So before we get going on today's video, if you don't mind dropping that like, would be greatly appreciated. 1,000 likes is always the goal. And of course, man, subscribe if you are new to the channel. And let's get going on the video. Okay, so looking at this Hawks roster, I believe at the making of this video, they're roughly like 11 and 13 or something like that. Some of the big name free agent signings have not really worked out all that much, have just be because of not fitting in. Like Rondo has not really fit in with the culture of this team. Gallinari had injury issues, stuff like that, man. Okongwu has not really played at all. He's got 7 games on the season, averaged about 3 points per game, so he might be a little bit of a project. But regardless, man, this Hawks team definitely needs like a boost in the right direction. And, a 23-year-old player like John Collins, what was he averaging last season? I know this season he's at about, 19 points, 8 rebounds per game. So that's roughly what he's averaging for his young career, man. Around like that 20-point double-digit rebound mark. Can obviously shoot the 3-point shot very well. Somebody that probably should be playing the power forward position, not the center position in this era of basketball. Because I've seen him play center before, and it wasn't really all that pretty, man. So yeah, he definitely should be playing the 4th spot. But yeah, a lot of teams out there, I would say could use him as like a 2nd or 3rd scoring option on their team. So yeah, plus you gotta look at the rest of the roster too, man. Obviously, you have Trae Young, it's his team, so maybe John Collins wants a team where more so it can be like, he could be a big part of it too, and, I don't know, man, just seems like he doesn't really get along with Trae Young all that much. You got Clint Capella, who's been fantastic this season. DeAndre Hunter has been really improved this year, man. He's averaging like 17 points per game, doing a little bit of everything out there, really looking like he's living up to that draft pick that he was selected at, and somebody that could be like the 3rd option on this team, man. Then obviously, too, if you trade away John Collins, you still have Danilo Gallinari. Gallinari's been coming off the bench this season, but, we all know when he's a starter and stuff, man, he can average high double-digit points out there, man, around like 17, 18 points per game or whatever, man. So plays very similar to John Collins from the floor spacing standpoint, can put the ball on the court a little bit. Obviously not as athletic as a John Collins, but yeah, still a really solid option. He's only 32, and they signed him to this 3-year contract, man. So it just seems like a good opportunity maybe to improve at a different position. I would say the position that the Hawks probably look for out of all this would have to be the shooting guard spot. Kevin Huerter is cool. I like him more as a backup, especially because he's a bit injury prone out there too, man. I just don't, he can light up at times, man, but I just think that 2 spot's really what they really need out there, right, man? So yeah, we're probably gonna be looking for a shooting guard when it comes to a trade. So real quick here, let's look at the other rosters here in the NBA, man. See like what team could actually use John Collins. 76ers. I don't really see a big time fit for them. Although, him alongside Joel Embiid would actually be a little bit interesting. I just don't know what the position to trade for is quite there. You got the Milwaukee Bucks, not a bad team. Chicago Bulls, Zach LaVine for John Collins. Yeah, I don't think Bulls fans want to do that. Cleveland Cavaliers, if they want to go more of the veteran route, they could go for like a Kevin Love. But once again, you still have Gallinari at that starting 4 spot, so I don't really see the trade there. Boston Celtics, I think, are going to be a big-time player for John Collins, man, because, instantly you can just go Daniel Tice back at the center spot. You already have Jaylen Brown with the starting shooting guard. Now, it would take giving up a Marcus Smart, so, I think Celtic fans would have to, kind of realize, do you want what John Collins can bring to this team, a little bit more height and stuff at that 4 spot, but losing that grit and grind culture that Marcus Smart brings. I don't know if it's totally worth it, but I could see them being, trying to shake things up a little bit and going for a guy like John Collins. For the LA Clippers, I don't really know if they have the pieces to really trade for him. Memphis Grizzlies don't make a lot of sense. They already got plenty of good power forwards on their team. Atlanta Hawks, that's the team he's currently on. If you guys have not been paying attention, you have failed Crispy's class. The Miami Heat, I actually kind of like the idea of this team. Now, you're probably looking like giving up somebody like a Duncan Robinson. Obviously, he would not give up Tyler Hero. They just refuse to give him up for anything. So, yeah, that would not be happening. But like a Duncan Robinson getting another shooter alongside Trae Young, all of a sudden you do have your splash bro backcourt. I mean, Kevin Hurd can knock down the three and stuff like that, but Duncan Robinson's one of the elite ones in the NBA when it comes down to it. And then I do like the idea of John Collins next to Bam Adebayo. I just think that works out from a front court standpoint. So it opens up more minutes for Tyler Hero. So yeah, that's definitely one to consider. You got the Charlotte Hornets, looking for a piece alongside LaMelo Ball. Now for this type of trade, do they really have the pieces to do so? I mean, I guess you could probably do like a PJ Washington, get a young player that can stretch the floor and maybe toss in like a Terry Rozier. But even Terry Rozier is more of a point guard anyway, so it doesn't really feel like their shooting guard need. I don't think they're going to give it Malik Monk. I mean, they might, but who really knows, man? The Utah Jazz don't really have the pieces that they would trade away to the Hawks that the Hawks would absolutely need. Sacramento Kings, not really seeing it. I guess, well, you know what? The Kings, if the price is right, it actually would kind of make sense. Now, it would have to be like a Buddy Hield. I can see Buddy Hield really being nice for the Hawks in the backcourt with Trae Young. And then maybe, potentially, they could even convince to get Marvin Bagley. That might be a little bit too much for John Collins. But maybe the Hawks also give up like Rondo and a second-round pick or something. I guess maybe you could consider that. Has Rondo been on the Kings? I don't think he has. He seems like he's been on every single NBA team. The New York Knicks, not really seeing it here. They already got Julius Randle and Obi Toppin. The Los Angeles Lakers, I don't see that happening. Orlando Magic, not really. I mean, Evan Fournier would be pretty solid, but maybe you could do like an Evan Fournier and Aaron Gordon, but even that seems like a little bit too much for John Collins. Dallas Mavericks, kind of like the idea of this team right here. They got Tim Hardaway, who I believe played for the Hawks for a little bit already. You got Josh Richardson, who could be decent in a trade, and you could have a big three of Luka, Kristaps, and John Collins. You got the Brooklyn Nets. It doesn't really solve the defensive issues of the Nets, and they already have plenty of offense, so I don't really see the Nets needing him. Denver Nuggets, potentially, maybe, like, if you could pull off, like, Michael Porter, that'd be big time, because John Collins fits into this team instantly as that starting four alongside Jokic and Jamal Murray. That's dynamic when it comes to offense. Indiana Pacers don't really see it. New Orleans Pelicans don't see it. Detroit Pistons, I'll take them, but, yeah, I don't really see it. Toronto Raptors, no. Houston Rockets, there might be a trade here, something like a Victor Oladipo, who's, might end up getting traded before the trade deadline anyway. There's been talks that he doesn't really want to be on the Houston Rockets or just wants to be on a different team. So I can see Victor Oladipo being pretty solid for the Hawks to have on their squad. And, John Collins alongside like Christian Wood, that's your backcourt. And obviously, your front court, and you got DeMarcus Cousins out there, obviously, as the backup center. So I kind of like the Rockets, man. It's actually not a bad little trade, just like a straight up thing like that. Spurs, I've heard that the Hawks have kind of been interested in the past in DeMar DeRozan. I don't know if that really still holds up or not, though, but it's only a one-year contract, so could be interesting, I suppose. Phoenix Suns, I like quite a bit. Now, they do have Cam Johnson, who's kind of been balling out this season anyway, and beyond that, I don't really know if they actually have the pieces to get John Collins themselves anyway. OKC Thunder, I mean, they got picks, if the Hawks want straight up picks, but I don't think the Hawks really want young players anymore. They're ready to really compete and get like those veteran guys on the team. Minnesota Timberwolves, I like a lot, and I do think there's a trade to be had right here. You could go as far as maybe like a Malik Beasley, who's a great scorer. He'd be great in the backcourt with Trae Young. And I would even ask for, I would probably try to get either Josh Okogie out of it or, Jarrett Culver's, this far down the list. Jarrett Culver would be nice, although he once again would be kind of having issues for development because they already got DeAndre Hunter at the small forward spot. They got Cam Reddish, who obviously got himself a pretty decent sized contract in the offseason. But I would say, just going for Malik Beasley and somebody else could be kind of interesting. I kind of like the idea of that on the Timberwolves. Trailblazers, they could always use some more scoring. You can go like a Robert Covington or maybe like also get like a Gary Trent, get two solid, rotational pieces there. Golden State Warriors, I mean, don't really see it happening. In the Washington Wizards, I don't really see that happening either, man. So honestly, I am kind of dumbfounded on what team I think is actually the best fit. The Celtics, I like the idea of Marcus Smart in the backcourt, but beyond that, let me just go through the teams here real quick. I was talking about the Miami Heat. I'm thinking the Rockets. I don't know why, man. Like, the Rockets just seem to make sense. Like, Oladipo doesn't really want to be there all that much. I still think he's an all-star caliber player. Brings that veteran presence. They got Eric Gordon to be the starting shooting guard. Christian Wood and John Collins just seems like it would work. I think that's the trade I'm going to do there, man. I'm not saying it's the best trade. I'm open to a ton of these right here, but that's the one that I'm personally going to do. So, yeah, we will do a trade of John Collins to the Rockets for Victor Oladipo. And Oladipo, I believe, is on a one-year contract. So, Yeah, what do we got here, man? So yeah, he's got 1 year left. So we got to do some more to make this match because John Collins is still technically on his rookie deal and everything. So we're going to have to toss in somebody else. I think at that point, ooh. I forgot they got Bogdan on their team, don't they? He's only a 76 overall. What happened to him, man? I guess we'll toss in Tony Snell. And then at that point, okay, we got to take on somebody else. Okay, just give me, can I just take like anybody? I heard there was talks of like PJ Tucker going to, you know, a different team. He could be interesting. Another veteran player, come off the bench or whatever. And the Hawks would acquire $7.65 million more than is allowed. Okay, so we got to... What have I got to take on? Oh, does Oladipo have that big of a contract? Okay, so maybe PJ Tucker was a little bit too much money. How much is this contract for? Okay, about $8 million. Yeah, that wasn't going to work then. Kurix, here we go. Still not enough, man. The Hawks would acquire $1.46 million more than allowed. Okay, we really got to get this to work here. I got to get to work, man. Let me toss in, I mean, I'm just going to toss in Chris Dunn. I'm not saying he would be traded, but, you know, just to toss somebody in there. And I guess I'll also go with Sterling Brown. There we go. That makes the trade work. And, yeah, it might be like a Rondo, I guess, instead of like a Chris Dunn. But that's who I'm tossing in there. Because why not, man? Make this trade happen. There we go. I like it for both sides. Then all of a sudden, the Hawks are looking like a team of Trae Young, Victor Oladipo, DeAndre Hunter, Danilo Gallinari, Clint Capella. Love this for a starting five. I'm not going to promise the championship team, but, you know, getting an all-star caliber player like Victor on the squad, that's nice. Kevin Huerter, Bogdan, Rondo, Okongwu off the bench. And, yeah, we obviously did not get like PJ Tucker or nobody like that, man. But overall, yeah, that's a solid team. I feel like that's a team that's going to do some damage out there. And Oladipo gives you get the mix of the defense and the offense in the backcourt with Trae Young, which I think he kind of needs. And Gallo gets to actually, you know, live up to his contract and stuff, getting paid what was like $6 million or $60 million for 3 seasons. So makes a lot of sense just from that standpoint. All right, and yeah, I guess we can go ahead and pull up the. We'll also pull up the where they at the Houston Rockets, because, you know, we want to make sure their lineup's looking crispy also, man. And there we go. For the Houston Rockets team, I like to look at both sides of the trade that I'm doing. John Wall, Eric Gordon, Daniel House, John Collins, Christian Wood. I actually like this. Where'd Tate go? He's a power forward? I thought he was a small forward. Man, I'm going to put him as small forward. I actually kind of like his game a lot, so we'll put him as small forward. And he stays at 75 overall, but I think he would start over House, no doubt. And there we go. Pretty solid team there, man. Pretty solid team still, too. Get a young player for the rebuild. I think everybody's happy, right? So let's go ahead and simulate this NBA season real quick here, see what happens. Obviously, I like to do it from the beginning with no injuries on, just because I like to kind of see like the full potential of how a team could do when completely healthy with their new players and everything like that. So yeah, we don't care about injuries and all that stuff out there. But I'm going to predict probably like a 45-46 win team if 2K doesn't screw them over regardless of that. Trae Young obviously still the leading scorer. I think that's where it gets a little dangerous to the squad, though, man. It's like, okay, like, obviously Trae Young's the leading scorer, but then who's next up? It's going to be Oladipo, DeAndre Hunter, you know, Clint Capella, any one of those guys. I mean, even Gallinari can drop 20 on any given night, so, which can be a good or bad thing. It's a bad thing in the sense of identity and culture and knowing who's going to take over in what spot, but it's a great thing in the sense of you can't really, you know, it's like you already got to worry about Trae Young, and now you got to worry about, okay, who's dropping damn 20, 30 points on my head this night besides Tricky Trae out there, right, guys? But so far, they are first in the conference. So this team is working out really, really nicely for them. 31-14, 31-15. Okay, so looking like they're going to be even better than I said. I think I said 45 wins. But no, man, I think all in all, it's like it's cool. I don't think they're going to get like a grand slam, because you have just that in the back of your head, knowing that John Collins is a free agent, knowing that he probably wants to get paid quite a bit of money, and deservingly so. He's a beast. I think he's restricted. I don't know how that works with trades. I don't know if his access is restricted once he gets traded or not. I don't know how that all works. But so you got that thing about too. It's like even if the Rockets trade for him with the mindset of, okay, we'll give him $20 million a season, but if he's restricted or whatever, and you have another team out there offering him a max contract, you know, it's like, okay, well, all of a sudden you just lost Oladipo. But Oladipo might have walked the way anyway, so I think it's kind of a low-risk move altogether. 52-29, one more game here against the Cleveland Cavaliers, finish the L on the season. And, yeah, we got Boogie as 6th man of the year. There we go. All-NBA first, All-NBA second, and All-NBA third, with no Trae Young actually making it, but it's all good. Yeah, we are the second seed. We got the Orlando Magic in the first round, and the Rockets. Damn, bro. Damn, Houston Rockets balling out too with, you know, a completely healthy lineup, which I actually see that potential with them too, man, at the end of the day. Let's go to these player stats on the season. See how both these squads did. It looks like it was a win-win situation. Now, obviously, like I said, you know, everybody's staying healthy on the Rockets. I mean, we all know that's just not the case. You know, Boogie Cousins, or I guess Boogie's been good for the most part. I know like Christian Wood's out with the ankle injury and stuff though, but we got Trae Young at 27 and 10, Gallinari living up to his contract at 17 and 4, Oladipo at 16 points. Everybody doing their damn role out there. So yeah, that worked out really, really nicely from their standpoint. And then going over to the Houston Rockets, we got John Wall at 20 and 8. We got Boogie at 18. We got 18 for John Collins. This front, damn, this front court is beasting. Wow, you got 5 players averaging 16 plus points per game, and I don't think Boogie's quite got it like that anymore. But I know his attributes in this game are all screwed up, man. Like, or like his tendencies. I mean, they have him still playing like it's the Sacramento Kings days. So yeah, I don't quite expect that. And Christian Wood, I think, would be way higher on this list. You know, this right here is what I like mostly. But yeah, they got these guys playing like damn superstars again. Like John Wall, in all fairness, has been playing really good basketball. But all right, let's see how this actually goes. Simulate round right here. And see how far both these teams get. So both teams win the first round. Hawks closeout game. We got Trae at 37-20 for Victor Oladipo. And then over here we do have the John Wall 20 and 10 for John Collins. Very nice. Okay, simulate round. And okay, Houston Rockets made it 4 games to 1 to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Hawks move on to the Eastern Conference Finals against, I believe, the Milwaukee Bucks. No, we beat the Milwaukee Bucks. Even better, man. We don't got to deal with them. Well, we got to deal with the Brooklyn Nets. So that's not fun. But, you know, it is what it is. 27 in that game for the Rockets. Alrighty, let's see if we can actually get to the NBA Finals. Simulate round. And we lose in a 7-game series, which obviously would suck, but I think is also a really good growth moment for Trae Young and some of the younger guys on the Hawks anyway. Victor Oladipo was actually not great. 10, 6, and 5. So, yeah, I think for what it's worth, I feel like the trade, I feel like it was pretty much fair for both sides. Not exactly like a blockbuster, but just a really good solid trade there, man. So you guys all let me know in the comment section below. Where do you think John Collins gets traded to? Do you think he even gets traded? Or, you know, at this point, let me make sure my damn face cam was correct. Okay, because I had my screen really small, so I wasn't sure I couldn't see it. But yeah, hopefully you guys all enjoyed this. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace out, my friends.